signs and cross watchers. Hi Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. How are y'all doing? This is going to be your December 2020 tarot reading. I wasn't even sure if I was going to do December readings this month. I'm getting pretty busy with work and life, but I thought, no, I definitely want to do readings. I hate when I don't do them. You know, I haven't skipped a month since I started this channel and I really wanted to. So I decided to break it up into 4 different videos of each of the elements. I'm going to go through all 12 signs. This video is going to contain all 3 earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I just decided to break it up into the elements to keep it a little bit shorter. So the readings are going to be a little bit shorter, a little bit more brief, but they're going to be, you know, just as good, full readings, and I hope you enjoy them. As always, in my description box, you can find my email. Please feel free to reach out to me if you'd like to schedule a personal reading. You can find my Instagram. Feel free to give me a follow. You can find some links to some Spotify playlists. Feel free to check those out. And you can also find my PayPal link if you'd like to donate to this channel. It would mean the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for your support. All right, I decided to start with the oracle cards for these month's readings. I've just been doing it for each of the signs, so I decided to keep that going because I think it sets a nice stage for the readings. I'm feeling Taurus first. Something's pulling me towards Taurus. So are there any first messages here for Taurus for the month of December 2020? Any messages for Taurus? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury, Mars. Messages for Taurus. Any messages for Taurus? I am worthy, the number 16. I am enough and I am worthy of receiving everything I desire. I do not need to prove myself to those who would seek to diminish me. I am worthy. That's the same card that I think came out for Cancer. Yeah, so check out the Cancer reading maybe. Taurus. I think maybe you've been in a space where you've been feeling really insecure and you've been feeling really unworthy for the things that you've been working towards, or maybe you've been feeling a little bit of absence of something in your life or a lack of something in your life. And you've been feeling like maybe you're not worthy of it and that's why you haven't received, or you know, maybe you've been experiencing some hardship that makes you believe that you're not worthy, or maybe you're on the other end where you're finally coming into a place where you're starting to understand that you are inherently worthy of receiving what it is you want. You're inherently worthy of receiving especially what it is you've been working towards. If you are maybe struggling a little bit with self-worth, I think it's important to put things into perspective, to really look at, you know, who am I surrounded by? Are there negative energies? Are there negative people in my environment that kind of bring me down and make me believe these untrue things about myself? Are there people in my environment that make me feel that I'm not worthy? Does my job make me feel unworthy? You know, do my parents, do my family make me feel unworthy? If there's negative energies you're surrounded by in your environment that make you feel this way, it may be time to analyze that and see what changes you can make, because I've said this before, but your environment is so crucial to your overall well-being and like your vibration and like how you feel about yourself and how well you're doing. It has everything to do with like how you're influenced and, you know, what your thought patterns are. So if you're surrounded by people who make you feel like shit, you're gonna feel like shit. I know it's so blunt and like so obvious, but sometimes we don't even realize that we're surrounding ourselves with really low vibrational, like negative energies, and it could totally change our mood and our mindset, and we could totally turn around into like a positive mindset if we switched up a little bit who or what we're surrounded by. Taurus, maybe you've been on a journey where you've been working really hard towards something, but you haven't seen any progress yet, and you're starting to doubt your worthiness of receiving the kind of success or reaching the milestone or reaching the goal that you set for yourself. But I feel like you're right. I love how it's the number 16 with the number 1 and the number 6. The number 1 is the number of like powerful manifestation. It's the number of the self. It's the magician card, you know. And the number 6 is about like universal love, success. You know, think of the 6 of Wands, reaching a certain milestone. The 6 of Pentacles, reaching a place where you have so much that you're so abundant that you can give to others. I think you're right on the tip of it. You're so close, or you're right there, or you're in the process of manifesting that kind of success or whatever it is that you really desire. And it's easy to get tripped up in the, you know, is it for me? Am I worthy of it? Is it going to happen? Because you're lost in the journey of it. But remember that this journey is the most important part. It's a test of your strength. It's a test of your endurance. So keep pushing. I think you're on the brink of something here. Whatever it is you've been working towards. I am enough and I am worthy of receiving. You are inherently enough, Taurus. Whether you've been working towards something or you're struggling to see your worth with maybe interpersonal relationships and people, you are inherently enough. And maybe you need to change up something in your environment to surround yourself with better energies who remind you that you're enough and make you feel worthy, make you feel loved. Alright, let's get into your reading. Any messages for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury, Mars? Any placements you may have in your chart? Any energy you've been vibing with? Any messages for Taurus? Whoa. Any messages for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury, Mars for December 2020? Messages of love, truth, healing, light, forgiveness, clarity. Messages for Taurus. Messages of healing, worthiness, inspiration. Taurus. Any messages for Taurus? This is so real already. Kind of some of the things I was talking about right there in the beginning. Any other messages for Taurus? Oh, Taurus. I can't wait to pull the advice cards later because this looks like it's just explaining what your problem is here. Okay, so the Devil energy is your overall energy. And then we have the Death reversed, the Nine of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles reversed, the King of Swords reversed, the Empress reversed, and the Chariot reversed. Taurus, with the Devil being the overall energy, there's something that you're trapped in. There's some kind of negative cycle of like codependency of some sort, whether this is a person or something that you're heavily relying on. I'm seeing a lot of reliance on negative energies. I'm seeing reliance financially on something. There's some kind of like pattern or negative pattern or habit or like negative energy or cycle that you're stuck in here. There's something that you're chained to. There's some kind of codependency or like addiction or like toxic habit that you're stuck to here that maybe you've been trying to break. But there's something here that's not ending, and I think it has to do with you want to break free of whatever this is and finally claim or gain this independence that you're striving for, something that you're really seeking, something that you may not feel worthy enough to break out of. You don't feel worthy of anything else. You don't feel worthy of the independence that you desire. You don't feel worthy of yourself. This negative energy, whatever it is, it's putting something in your mind that's telling you you're not worthy of what it is you want, whether it's this independence, whether it's something else. If this is some kind of relationship, you're trapped in a toxic kind of relationship where you don't feel worthy of anybody else. You don't feel like you're worthy enough to receive real, true, good, healthy, nourishing love. And so you're stuck in this love that is not good for you and is so low vibrational that you're trapped in this cycle with this person. If it's not about a relationship, this could be even a negative thought process or some kind of habit or addiction that you've been really stuck on for a while, where you're stuck in this thought pattern where you don't feel worthy enough. And that's why you're in this place where you're not letting this thing come to an end. There's some kind of ending you're resisting. There's some kind of death of the self. Like, I don't mean like your physical person. I mean like there's some part of yourself that needs to die so that a part of you can be reborn and you can start this whole new journey, this whole new cycle as a new person. You may be like on the brink of a spiritual awakening. There may be some kind of spiritual awakening that has to do with self-love and independence and like, you know, really doing things on your own and having this kind of like self-enlightenment where you do things on your own because you believe that you can and you are self-sufficient and self-capable. You are inherently all those things. You're inherently worthy of reaching this. I think you're in a cycle though where you're right on the brink of letting something from the past die, letting this codependency die, letting this habit or this negative energy die, or cutting this off somehow. You're right on the brink of it. It's so close, but there's something that you're resisting. There's some kind of ending that you're resisting, and it has to do with like you're ready to like break through to that other side to get to this like independence, this self-love, this abundance that you're seeking, but there's something stopping you. And I think it has to do with a lot of negative energies in your environment. This could have something to do with a really awful boss in your environment, someone who both of these energies, the King of Pentacles reverse and the King of Swords reverse, they're both like, I think of like shitty boss, someone who is, the King of Pentacles reverse is someone who is way too focused on money and that bottom line profit, that they will treat their workers like shit to get there. Someone who is so focused on making the right decisions and running a tip-top shape, you know, well-oiled machine, that they don't care about people's feelings. They'll say things really bluntly that are completely, you know, inappropriate, or someone who has like no tact and no sensitivity towards how people feel. And that's important. A boss can't just be, you know, looking at the bottom line and running a tight ship. A boss has to have that interpersonal connection with their employees, or else they're going to be going through employees day by day, or have employees who hate their jobs and hate their lives, and then, you know, the well-being of a company cannot thrive if their employees are miserable. It doesn't work like that. So if you're stuck in a really terrible work environment where you know that you could be independent and financially successful, you know, outside of this workplace, but you haven't figured out yet how to break free from this, there's something here with that. If this is about a job, or like, you know, maybe the people in your environment are really much this, where they're so focused on the money, they're so focused on just getting things done and finding the information and just doing what needs to be done, but disregarding your mental health or your emotional well-being. There's a lot of that energy. This isn't about work. This could be, if this is about some kind of interpersonal relationship, whether it's romantic, family, friends, whatever, there's someone in your environment who is so focused on, reaching the independence that they want, that they're focused so much on money. They're money hungry. They work so hard, and they're only focused on getting money, and they will do anything to get that money. They will do anything to find that success. This King of Swords reverse is someone who will do anything to be in a place of power, even if it's, you know, they're being a really shitty leader. Leadership is about so much more than being strong and powerful. It's you have to do things that gain you respect, and you don't earn respect by treating others like shit. I don't know why I'm getting so much like shitty boss energy. There could be someone in your energy that's just completely draining you. This could even be about your own negative like thought patterns. Maybe you've been working yourself to the bone and you've been chasing the bag so hard that you're forgetting to take care of yourself, and you haven't got here yet because you're forgetting the elements about self-love and self-care. This could be the same thing, where you're so focused on, you know, seeking the truth and finding the answers, that maybe you've been a little too closed off, or like really harsh with the people in your environment. You've been cutting people off, and you haven't been very communicative with the people that you care about. And there's something here with like the environment that you're in, whether it's your thought patterns that are really trapping you, your work environment, a boss, you know, a connection that you're dealing with, whatever's here. There's a lot of negative energy here that's really holding you back. And with this Empress reverse, it's just like, you're not growing, you're not thriving, you don't feel like yourself. Excuse me. This could even be about like, your growth is really stunted. This could even have to do with like self-worth and self-love. You don't feel good about yourself. This person or this energy, it makes you feel so invaluable. It makes you feel devalued. You're not growing. This could have something to do with like, you're not feeling in your feminine energy. You're not feeling good about yourself. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of this. And these two cards, the King of Swords and the King of Pentacles, both in the reverse, that's like a lot of masculine energy. So Taurus, maybe you've been detrimentally way too deep in your masculine energy, and so your feminine energy is suffering, and that part of you needs to come back a little bit. But it's just, whatever the situation is, it's seriously stunting your growth. And it's like, there's some ending that needs to come in, but you're resisting it. It's like you're like, I know this job sucks. I know I'm miserable here. I know I hate it here. I know I need to leave, but I don't know how. I don't know how to do it. I need the money. I need this to keep working towards my independence. I need this to keep, you know, working towards my abundance. You know, it's like, oh, I know that I'm not happy in this relationship. I know that I need to leave, but it's hard. I can't. I'm tied to this person somehow. There's some codependency here. There's some part of me that feels like I shouldn't leave because I'm not worthy of anything else. Or there's some part of me like where this connection or this person that I'm in a relationship with, they make me feel so unworthy that it's so hard to leave them. This could be something really toxic here. I'm so like, this is really terrible if this is your situation, and I'm really sorry, Taurus, but it's like, it's stunting your growth, and I think you know that. I think you know that because you know that there's an ending coming. You know that there's an ending that needs to happen, but you're resisting it because you're holding on to something here. But you're right on the brink of independence, where you want that independence. You can taste it. You can taste the freedom of finally quitting this job, or finally leaving this relationship, or finally cutting this person off that, like, you know, brings your energy completely down, doesn't help you grow, doesn't help you flourish as a person. Like, you feel so stuck here. You feel so stunted in your growth as a person, you feel stunted in your career here. You feel stunted in, like, emotionally here. You just don't feel good. And again, this is just like, I'm not moving forward. I'm not progressing. I'm not going in any direction. Like, I want to be charging forward and making moves in my career. I want to be progressing and building my skill set. You know, I want to move forward and be free and feel like I'm actually moving forward in life with my relationship, or whatever this may be about. Or maybe just if this is really about, like, interpersonal stuff, like within you, like, you know, you're feeling like, I'm not progressing as a person. Like, I want to be growing, I want to be changing, but I don't feel like I'm doing any of that. Taurus, this is like, wow. Okay, so let's pull some cards of advice, see what comes out for you. Any messages of advice here for Taurus? Any messages of advice here for Taurus regarding the spread for December 2020? Messages for Taurus? Messages for Taurus? Messages for Taurus? I love this. Okay. The Four of Pentacles reverse, the Knight of Cups reverse, and the Queen of Swords. With the Four of Pentacles reverse, I think the reason that you're not, Taurus, this is such a Taurus thing. The reason that you're not leaving this job, leaving this relationship, cutting this person off, letting go of this negative thought pattern is, like, you're so tied to, something's chaining you to this because of the security that you've attached yourself to it. Taurus are very much about security. They love having that safety and stability, that predictability, something that they can really rely and depend on, whether it's, you know, a steady income, they really need that income, or, you know, it's nice to have a partner even if you're not happy. No, Taurus, I think this is reminding you it's really time to let go of that need to hold on to things so tightly. It's time to really start to release these things that you're holding on really tightly, because how much security is it really bringing you if it's destroying your mental health? How much security is it really bringing you if you're not happy, if you're not in love? How much security is it really bringing you if, you know, yes, you're making a check, but, like, you can make a check and not be miserable. Like, it's really reminding you it's time to let go of that need to hold on to things so tightly because you've already invested yourself in this. You're like, well, I've already committed, so I might as well keep going. Like, Taurus are very committed people, but sometimes to their own detriment. Like, once they really are all in on something, they are all in, and they feel like it's really hard for them to back out. And I see that here. I see you really being tied to this in some way. There's some kind of, like, almost like addictive tie to this, or like some kind of codependent tie to this, where it's like, well, I've been in this job so long, and, you know, my boss knows me, and I don't want to learn a new skill set, or I don't want to go meet new people in a new job, or I don't want to piss off this boss because I'm scared of what might happen. Or I just see a lot of really scary, negative, like, intimidating energy. Someone who is just like a piece of shit and, like, uses their power in really awful, negative ways to intimidate people and to scare people and to hurt people. And I don't like that, Taurus. And I think this is really reminding you, whatever sense of security that you found yourself in this relationship, in this job, in this environment, whatever, it's time to really start letting go of that, because you want this and you can't ultimately achieve this here. You can't achieve this here. You can't reach abundance and success and stability in a place that causes you so much, and where you have to stay in a place where you're not loving yourself. Loving yourself is walking away from a relationship that doesn't serve you. Loving yourself is walking away from a job that doesn't give you everything you need. Yes, a good paycheck is important, but that can be found in other places. It's time to let go of this security attachment you have to this and start to understand that security that you seek, it can be found in other places that don't hurt you or harm you or scare you or intimidate you. You know, you can be mentally free and happy somewhere else. And I think it might be time to do that. And with the Knight of Cups reverse, I think it's like you're either going to be turning down someone's offer, or I also see this as like closing off your heart. Taurus, I think you have a really big heart, and there comes times where you're like, you know, maybe you know that it's time to really leave this job behind, leave this relationship behind, but you're like, you know, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. This is really difficult to do. I think this is like this is reminding you might have to turn off that emotional part of yourself. You might have to turn off that need to protect everyone's feelings, and it's time to protect your own. This is like, sometimes you can't be emotionally tactful about something. You can't be gentle about something. Sometimes you really have to just say it like it is. You have to tell people how you really feel, even if it's going to hurt some feelings. You have to, you know, turn off the emotional part of yourself and do something that is difficult because it's what you have to do for yourself. You're worthy of so much more than this. You are worthy of so much more than the situation that you're in. And if you're really struggling to get out of it, like I just encourage you to understand that the security that you seek can be found elsewhere, and that this can be done where your feelings are more important than whoever's feelings you're trying to protect in this. It's time to maybe close off the emotional part of yourself that is making this hard. Just turn it off for a little bit and step into the Queen of Swords. Step into a place where you're like, this is my life. I make decisions for myself. I do things to protect myself. I have to make smart decisions that impact my life. I can't stay in this place that is harming me. I need to go find my security elsewhere. I need to go get away from this negative energy that's bringing me down. I'm not growing here. I'm not progressing here. Maybe you're not even safe here. I really don't like this energy, Taurus. If this is really speaking to you, if this is resonating with you, it's time to really get out of the feelings. You don't need them right now. It's time to step into a place where it's like, I need to make decisions. I have decisions to make. I have things to do. I have my own feelings to protect. This Queen of Swords often speaks about someone who's been burned and is very protective of herself. It's time to start putting your self-interest and your self-protection, which I think this self-protection is really important here, because there may be something here that's really about like the safety of like your well-being. It's really time to step into a place where it's time to make decisions and do things. Put yourself first. Like, you are the priority right now. How do you feel? Like, is this what's right for you? You need to make some decisions for yourself. You need to do what's right for you, even if it's going to be hard, even if it's going to hurt feelings. You need to leave this situation that is like totally not serving you at all. There's a lot of negative energy here and I don't like it. And it's really time to let go of this securely attached feeling that you've been feeling to this. It's time to, you know, put the feelings aside and really like make strong, you know, wise decisions that the Queen of Swords would, because she's only looking out for herself right now. Taurus, this was a really intense reading, but I really hope you enjoyed this. I'm feeling like this Sagittarius season is going to make you feel a little bit more bold and like empowered than you usually would. I think this end of the year wrapping up is really you saying, you know what, fuck it. There's some decisions I gotta make. There's some shit I have to leave in 2020, and I don't want to be taking any of this negative energy, any of this baggage with me into 2021. So I think this is you really being like, I gotta make some final last cuts before I move into this next cycle, this new year. And I think you're really analyzing your situation and like looking at, you know, what kind of environments that you're in and like whether these things are bringing you up or bringing you down. And it looks like a lot of these energies are really bringing you down. And I think you're really in a place where you're ready to cut some things off and move on with your life and leave some things behind, cut some codependencies. But Taurus, I really hope that you got something out of this. If there were any messages in here for you, if this resonated with you at all, please leave comments down below. I would love to hear about it. Taurus, I want you to remember that you guys are worthy. You are worthy of so much more than this. If this resonated with you, please leave comments down below. I would really love to hear about it. And you can donate to my PayPal with the link down below. Check out my description box. There's some cool stuff in there. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Hi Virgo and cross watchers, how are y'all doing this month? I decided that I'm going to start out the readings with the Oracle card because I think it sets a nice stage for the reading. I like to do it, I've been seeing that I like doing it in the beginning as opposed to finishing off the reading with it. So I decided to start with it for all the December readings. So are there any first messages here for Virgo? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury, Mars, whatever placements you may have in your chart, whatever energy you've been vibing with. Any messages here for Virgo? To start off this reading, any nice messages here for Virgo? Any messages I need to hear? I am ambitious, number 29. I put my goals and ideas into action. I take a leap of faith and I believe in myself. When I put my heart's desires into action, it is for the good of all those involved. I am ambitious. I like that it's the number 29 because that adds up to 11, the number of manifestation, and I think of the Magician, which is Mercury, which is Virgo, and it's all connected, and I really love that for you, Virgo. Maybe you're finally starting to pick your energy back up again. I feel like I've been seeing some energies and messages for Virgos about they've been in a low point or they've been in a stagnant energy for a long time, but now they're starting to pick things back up again. They're starting to get going again. They're starting to believe in themselves again and start to put in the work towards their goals. Maybe they've had to change career direction a little bit, or, you know, they've been pretty They've been having this idea about something that they wanted to start for a while, but they weren't sure how to, and now they're finally ready to, and you're really stepping back into that ambition where you really truly believe in yourself, you believe in what it is you're doing, and you finally have maybe the resources, you've recently received some resources, or you're finally seeing that there's people around you that can help you, or you're finally reaching out to people around you so that you can get help. It's like you just had a change in your mindset recently about going from like, I don't know if it's worth it, I don't know if it's good enough, I don't know if people will care, and now you're just like, nope, I'm ambitious and I'm gonna make this happen. My goal is valid, I want to get there, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, I'm gonna do whatever I have to do, I'm gonna use my resources, I'm gonna use my time wisely, I'm gonna ask for help. Yeah, you're really starting to put things into action, and I think it involves taking a leap of faith too. And I think for the, it's for the good of all those involved. I think that's also the part of you like, yeah, I can ask people for help. You're realizing that it's really important to ask people for help, not just for your own good, but you're realizing that people have things that they can bring to the table for you, but you know that you have things that you can help them with in return. And I really like that for you, Virgo. Yeah, Virgo, I love that. You're starting to get ambitious again. Maybe you were in a place for a while where you took a break with a project you were doing because you weren't feeling it, or you weren't feeling good about it. Maybe your confidence took a hit in some way, or your career's been a little bit stagnant, or something you've been working on, or something you've been like wanting to start but weren't sure how or didn't believe in it. Now you're in this energy where you're starting to feel ambitious again. You're starting to get creative again. You're starting to see the possibilities again. I really love that for you, Virgo. Whew. Yeah, and I really like the part about, that whatever you do, it's for the good of all those involved. So I think you're really starting to call on people that can help you and like contribute to what you're trying to do, but that you want to help them do what they're trying to do as well. And if it's what you truly desire, then that's the best way to be ambitious, is to be ambitious about things that you truly desire, something that you really care about, and something that you really believe in. And I think if you aren't there yet, you're gonna start to see that soon. Something's gonna be shifting in your mind, or something might happen that makes you realize, like, yeah, this is the perfect time to start, or this is the perfect time to start picking things back up again, to pick up where I left off. Maybe you just have to put a pause on something for a little while. But I love that it's the number 29, because that's 11. Manifestation, the self. Knowing that you have all the tools and that you are powerful. You are capable of creating anything. Creating anything that you envision. Bringing things down from this, like, alternative dream reality. Putting your dreams into reality, into the 3D. Putting them into action. Making things tangible. Getting things going. Alright, let's get into your reading, Virgo. That was weird. Alright, any messages here for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury, Mars, whatever placements you may have in your chart, whatever energy you've been vibing with? Any messages for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, for December 2020? Messages for Virgo for December 2020. Any messages that Virgo need to hear at this time? Messages of love, truth, healing, light, forgiveness, clarity, patience, ambition, creativity, self-love, self-belief, faith, wisdom. Ooh. Interesting. Any messages for Virgo? Any messages for Virgo? Any other messages for Virgo? Any last messages for Virgo here? Queen of Cups. Okay. Interesting. The Emperor's overall energy. I'm going to get a clarification for Ten of Pentacles reversed. And can I get a clarification for the Ten of Wands reversed? Whoa. Interesting. Okay. All right. So Virgo, I need to get a little bit of clarification. So for the overall energy, you have the Emperor, and that goes so well with the ambition card. You are ambitious. You are the leader of your own life. You're powerful. You can make really powerful decisions. You have social influence. You have social clout. You are maybe even you're attractive, and not just in the way that you're physically attractive, but you're attractive. You attract good energy. You attract the right people. You have that youth and that quality about you that makes people trust you and believe in you as a leader, but you have that youthfulness and that relatability where you know that you're on the same level as a lot of people, where people believe in what you're saying and they trust you. I really see that with this card. People trust you, and they have belief in what you're doing and what you're trying to do, and they have belief in your leadership skills and your power that you're harnessing. And maybe this is something that you're stepping back into, that power that you're harnessing of like, I can do this, I'm a great leader, I make the right decisions, you know, I have the power to do this. I have control over my own life. I have the knowledge, I have the tools that I need, I have the social clout that I need. I'm definitely getting a lot of that. And then we have the Death card, the Ten of Wands reversed, the Ten of Pentacles reversed, the Two of Pentacles reversed, the Hanged Man, and the Queen of Cups. I'm seeing that, oh yeah, and then I did the Seven of Pentacles as clarifier for the Ten of Wands reversed, and the Chariot reverse as clarifier for the Ten of Pentacles reversed. So I'm seeing that there's going to be a death that happens, or maybe this is what you're going through right now, where when I said something about like a shift in your mindset, I think that's what this death is, because something needs to die, and something needs to die in order for a rebirth to happen, in order for something new to take place. So I'm seeing that with the Ten of Wands reverse, it's like maybe you were feeling really, really burdened by, you're finally dropping this burden, because whatever it is, this burden that you were feeling, it was about, I think it was you being like, how patient do I have to be? How long do I have to wait for this investment to return to me? It's like you made an investment and you're like, the burden is, you've been sitting around waiting for it to come back to you. And I think this Ten of Wands is reversed, is you dropping the burden of, maybe you're saying fuck it, and you're like leaving that, I don't know how to say this. You're saying fuck it, dropping the burden, and you're leaving this investment, whatever this investment you made, you're walking away from that. You're realizing that this, whatever this is I've been waiting on, it's a waste of my time, and I'm not waiting for something like this to come around for me anymore. I'm going to go elsewhere and find a different opportunity, because this clearly isn't it. Or maybe you're dropping the burden of waiting and waiting for something to happen, and you're deciding instead to take action for yourself. Maybe you've been waiting on other people or relying on other people in some way, and you're finally dropping this burden of like the stress of, I need you to do this for me, and you're not doing it, or you're not doing it in a timely manner. That's very Virgo. But you're dropping that burden, and you're saying, I'm either going to go invest in something else elsewhere, or I'm going to stop waiting for this to happen, and I'm going to go try to do something else. Or I'm going to take this upon myself and do it myself, because I'm tired of waiting for this to turn into something. Or you're just dropping the burden of waiting, and being like, okay, when is this going to happen? And instead you're going to be like, let's do things in the meantime on the road to this thing that I invested in. It's like, I can't just plant the seed here and wait for this investment. I have to be actively doing things. I have to be watering this. I have to be sowing the ground around me. I have to be tilling the soil. I have to be doing other things, you know? You can't just plant a seed and sit there and wait for something to grow. You have to be actively putting the nutrients into it. You have to be doing other things, growing other crops, you know, putting other investments in other areas. So I think the burden is like, maybe you put all your marbles in one, I'm mixing up phrases. Maybe you put all your eggs in one basket, and now you're like, okay, well, this isn't really happening. This isn't really working out the way I wanted it to. Or maybe it's just not happening as fast as I wanted to, and I need to go do other things in the meantime, or I need to go spread out some of my investments and put things in different places. I can't put all my eggs in one basket. And I think this burden is just like you shifting your mindset, thinking like, you know, I put my investment in this one thing for the stability that I thought it would provide me, but for whatever reason, that's not turning out the way I wanted it to. So I'm gonna shift my energy. I'm gonna put my investments and my energy in other places to get a bunch of different kinds of investments, or to do other things while I wait for this to grow. I can't just be standing here waiting. I have to take action and do other things while I'm waiting for this to happen for me. And with the Ten of Pentacles reverse and the Chariot reverse, I'm seeing that I think another thing that's dying, and some burden that you're letting go of, is this I think it's this disbelief or this lack of faith, this lack of trust that things are going to work out and that you're going to reach this like milestone or this long-term success that you're really planning for. I think it's this like doubt that you've been holding on to for a long time. Like, is this going to come in for me? You know, am I going to get the 10 of Pentacles? Am I going to get this long-term success that I really want for myself? Is this vision that I have for myself real? Is it something that is tangible? Is it something that can really happen for me? And I think you're either shifting your mindset or starting to change your plans. Maybe you're starting to change what it is you thought was going to be your long-term goal, your end goal of what you're working towards. Maybe you're just starting to put faith back in yourself that it is possible, and I just have to shift my mindset. I have to drop some of this stress, unnecessary stress that I put on myself. I have to start putting my seeds in multiple places and other places. I'm also seeing like the whole like calling on other people for help. Yeah, I'm seeing that you put all your energy into one area, but it's like, I can't do this alone. I have to call on other people to help me because I can't build this kingdom alone. And I think maybe the burden is this idea. You're dropping this burden because you've had this idea for a long time that, you know, you have to do this all on your own. You have to do this all yourself. You have to be self-made. But, you know, you can't have this magical kingdom and, you know, be all alone sitting in it. You have to call on other people to help you and build this with you. Build this beautiful thing that you're trying to build with you. And I think for a while you were tripped up in the, you know, what if it doesn't happen for me? I have a lot of doubts. I have a lot of disbelief in whether or not I'm going to reach this goal of mine, if I'm really going to achieve my dreams. And I think with the Chariot reverse, it was really slowing you down. You didn't feel like you were making progress towards it, or you haven't felt like you're making progress towards it. But I also think that this could have to do with you weren't feeling like you were moving in the right direction. And I think some of this burden that you're dropping is like, yeah, I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to put my investments in other places and see what else comes of those. And maybe I can use some of that return in those areas to bring it back to this one that I'm really trying to work towards. I think you're learning that you have to spread yourself out a little bit and also calling people for help. And I think you're realizing that you're a really good leader. And I think one of your strengths is that, this is very Virgo energy, one of your strengths is that you're a good leader and you're a good delegator and you can't do it all alone. Virgos are often like, you know, if I want something done right, I'm going to do it myself because I trust myself. But I think, Virgo, you're starting to step into this area where you're like, yes, I'm a great leader and I'm a great doer and I can do it all myself, but I know that I can't actually do it all myself. And so I need to harness my strength of my leadership ability and call on other people to help me and delegate the different things that I need to do so that I can build this long-term goal that I've set for myself, this kingdom that I'm trying to build, because I can't do it alone. I need to build it with other people, and then I want to share it with those people. And I think for a while there was just this like doubt. There was a lot of self-doubt, there was a lot of impatience, there was a lot of waiting for things to come around, that you were losing faith in the fact that they were going to come around. There was a lot of like, I'm not making any progress, I don't feel like I'm moving in the right direction. But I think this is all a burden that you're dropping and a death that is happening, a death of self, a death of a mindset that is totally shifting your perspective in ways that is like, you know, I can do this. I think also it had to do with you feeling like this is really overwhelming. I don't know if I can handle all of these things. I don't know if I can juggle all these things. And again, it's like, you can't do this alone. You have to call on other people. You have to step into those powerful leadership abilities where you call on other people to help you manage all the day-to-day stuff. Maybe you're trying to start a business and it's really hard. You're realizing how difficult it is to do it all on your own, and you feel very overwhelmed. You're like, I can't do this all myself. I can't juggle all these things. I can't wear all these hats. I don't have the skill set to do all of these different little things that need to get done. And I think it put you in a place where you were feeling really stuck. It was like all these doubts about like, can I actually get there? Can I actually go where I need to go? Why am I not making any progress? It put you in a place where you're just really stuck. You're sitting there waiting and waiting for something to happen, waiting for something to change, waiting for something to turn into something. There's a lot of doubt here. There's a lot of pentacles. So I'm definitely feeling that this is work oriented, where you're like, you're feeling really stressed about, you know, did I make the right investment? Why hasn't this turned into what I want it to be yet? Why isn't this moving in the right direction? Why am I not making progress? You know, I'm very overwhelmed by all that I have to do. I just feel stuck. I feel like I'm not moving anywhere with this. But I think, Virgo, the shift in mindset, this death that's happening is this death of this old belief system and how it's supposed to happen and how you're supposed to do it all alone. It's very much you're stepping back into this emperor energy to really harness that power of delegation. You're a great leader, and I think you're realizing like, yes, I want to call on other people to help me because I know that they can, and I'm a great leader, and I know exactly how to tell people what to do. I don't know how to do it myself, but I know how to tell someone else how to do it. Because Virgo, I think that takes a lot of strength for you to do, because you are the type of person that's like, I can do it all on my own, but you know you're coming to a point where you're like, no, I really can't anymore. I can't right now. It's a lot. It's really overwhelming. I can't reach this 10 of Pentacles end all be all kingdom that I'm trying to build all by myself. I need to build it with other people and then share that with other people. and you haven't been making progress. You've been waiting for this thing to come into fruition, but it hasn't because, you've been trying to do it all alone and you can't. It's overwhelming. But I think you're finally stepping back into a place where you're getting moving again. Things are starting to take action. I think you're going to be coming out of this Hanged Man energy and stepping back into feeling hopeful, ambitious again. You're letting go of the doubt. You're calling on people to help you. You're getting moving again. And I think it's all because you stepped into a place of stepping into your intuition. This Queen of Cups is telling me that you had a realization of some sort, or you had to get in touch with your emotions or have some kind of emotional check-in where you're like, why am I not progressing? What am I doing wrong here? What can I do differently? What am I holding back? What am I not telling people? I think there's a part of you that felt like you had to have it all emotionally together to put on this front for other people too, and you were afraid to reach out and step out and really ask someone for their help because you weren't sure how to. You didn't want to look weak. Maybe you really wanted to look like you had it all together. But I think there was a part of you that really had to step into your intuition and really check in with yourself. Like, why am I being so doubtful? Why do I feel like I can't do this? And, maybe you came to the realization, you're like, oh, I'm doing this alone and I shouldn't be. I need to ask people for help. Or, I need to put my investments in other areas. I can't put all my eggs in one basket. I need to let go of this doubt. There's a lot of realizations that you may have come to, but I think it has a lot to do with stepping into your intuition and tapping into that part of yourself where you're listening to yourself again. You're trusting yourself again. You are really internalizing and really, you're not just so focused on okay, money, getting my materials in order, getting my resources in order. It's like, I need my emotions too. I need to check in with myself and make sure, I'm doing the right things, I'm on the right path, making sure this is still what I really want, making sure I'm doing all the right things. Yeah, I think it had a lot to do with stepping into your intuitive powers. And I think those intuitive powers are going to help you in turn be a really great leader, be a really great leader that is in touch with other people and is on the same level as other people and is helpful to other people. The Taurus reading I did just now, it was about a really shitty leader. Don't be a shitty leader. Don't be someone who's so focused on the money and so focused on running a really tight, well-oiled machine that you forget to talk to the people who are helping you, talk to your employees, talk to your coworkers, have that emotional connection with the people that you're trying to build something so powerful with. You have this wonderful vision or this goal that you set for yourself that you really want to reach, but you can't do that without being tapped into yourself and being tapped into that intuitive and power and emotional connection with the people around you, especially if they're building something with you. Yeah, and I think this is a big leap of faith for you because you're realizing that this is different for you, this is new for you, asking people for help, and this is new for you to not put all your investments into one area. You have to spread yourself out a little bit and be a little bit diverse because think about it in terms of you put all your money into this one stock and then that business failed and then you lost your money and all that you invested, and now you have a big L in your portfolio. It's like you have to invest in different areas to have a diverse portfolio so that, if one company that you invested in isn't doing well and then maybe another one is, and it kind of balances itself out. So I think there's a lot with balance here too, where you felt like you needed to do it all yourself and you were very overwhelmed and you had too much on your plate and you couldn't really handle it all. But now you're stepping back and starting to reprioritize and, move things around and delegate to different people and get organized. And you're like, okay, I'm making lists. What do I have to do? What kind of people do I need? What kind of services do I need from other people? What are the steps I need to take to really get this off the ground and get this going again? I think you were in a period where the doubt really got to you. So you took a step back and you kind of went stagnant or went quiet on whatever this project or business was that you were doing. But now you felt stuck there. You felt stuck in the stagnant period maybe, but now you're stepping back into a place where you're like, okay, I'm ready to go again because I have a different mindset and I'm shifting a little bit of what I'm doing. I'm shifting my methods. I got to do things a little bit differently. And I really love that for you, Virgo. All right, let's pull 3 cards of advice for you. This is a really great reading. That Emperor energy, you really got to harness that. You're a great leader, but you can't do it all on your own. You can't do everything by yourself. Sometimes you have to call on other people and be a good, positive, strong leader that can delegate tasks to other people. You help them, they help you. All right, any messages of advice for Virgo here for December 2020? Any messages of advice here for Virgo for December 2020? Any messages of advice for Virgo? Any other messages of advice for Virgo? Any other messages of advice for Virgo? messages of advice for Virgo? Okay. So we have the Ace of Wands reverse, the Eight of Wands reverse, and the Page of Pentacles in reverse. I think this is reminding you that you're not going to be feeling that fiery passion for this all the time. There's going to be times, even if you're in a career or you started a business or you're doing something that you care so much about, even if it's something that you're so passionate about, there's going to be times where you lose the spark. There's going to be times in your life where you need a break. You need to take a little bit of break. You need to take a step back. You need to take a little bit of a time out. I feel like this is you coming to terms with that, is like realizing that like you don't want to work until you burn out. You want to do things where you feel good. You want to keep that momentum going, and by doing that, it means that you need to take breaks sometimes. I think this is reminding you that you're not always going to feel like, yes, this is everything I want in life. This is absolutely what I want to be doing. You're going to have doubts. Everybody has doubts. Even when they're on the perfectly right path, we're tested with those doubts, that self-doubt that makes us feel like, oh, I should just give up entirely. I should just throw this whole thing away. I should just give up on this entire thing. And it's like, no, this is just reminding you that there's parts where you lose your energy a little bit. You lose your momentum a little bit. You lose your spark a little bit. But those are the times where you need to either take a rest and or shift your perspective, shift what you're doing, change things up a little bit, do something differently, call on some new people to bring into your team and help you out. Start to do things a little bit differently. Change your vision a little bit. Change your goals a little bit. Alter them a little bit. Are you striving towards realistic goals? Do you need a better, more detailed, step-by-step plan? Yeah, this is just reminding you that like you might lose the spark sometimes, but that doesn't mean the whole thing is off the table. That doesn't mean you should give up on the whole thing. It just means you need to either take a break and or change something. Do something a little bit differently. Mix some things up. With the Eight of Wands reverse, this is also reminding you that it's going to be slow. I think this is reminding you that the process and the journey is going to be really long. If this is something that you really want to do and something that you really care about, even with all the ambition in the world, even with all the leadership qualities in the world, even with all the right investments, it's going to come really slowly. Things are going to move really slowly. Sometimes you're going to feel burnt out. You're going to lose the spark because things are moving slowly, because you feel like you're not making progress. But that's not normal. Those are totally natural things that happen. And I think we just need to get better at sitting in that place of needing patience, like needing to be patient, needing to really take it step by step. Remember that the journey is going to be long and slow, and that it's a slow process, it's a slow grind, and that, our big dreams and goals that we have for ourselves, they take a lifetime to build. So we have to be reminded of that so we can remember what we're still working towards. Things aren't going to happen in an instant, and we can't lose hope, or we can't, throw the whole project away just because things don't fall in line right away. But I think this is like, things might not be falling into place right now, but I think this is reminding you, like, you need to shift some things a little bit so that things can fall into place. This is like, things may not be aligning, things that might be like lining up for you right now, but I think once you do make some changes or some shifts, things are really going to start to fall into place a little bit more. With the Page of Pentacles reverse, I think this is reminding you to be careful where you put your pentacle. Like, make sure you're not putting it all in one area, or make sure you're making the right investments. Make sure this is the dream that you really want to do. This is the goal that you're really working towards. Get clear about, like, this is kind of like, yes, I have like this goal or this ambition, but it might be like a little bit of like lack of clarity, or lack of like, what am I trying to say? You may need like a more detailed plan. Like, you may be like, yes, I want this, but it's like, okay, how are you going to get there? Do you have a plan? Like, this is the downside of the Page of Pentacles, where you're really ambitious and you have the drive there, you're ready to get going. The ambition's there, but you may need a little bit more of a detailed plan. You may need a bit more organizing. You may need a little bit more grounding to really get this thing going in the right direction and make sure that you're on the right track and doing the right things. You can't just be like, I want to be a millionaire. Okay, how are you going to do that? How are you going to get there? You got to have a plan. You got to have something in order. This Page of Pentacles is very eager, but when it's in reverse, it's like, it's a little too disheveled, a little too disorganized, a little too disorienting. You need a little bit of a plan. You need a little bit more organization. This could also warn you, like, make sure you're not sitting at the beginning stage for too long, or you might miss out on an opportunity. I think this is telling you, like, things may be moving slow and you may be losing your spark, but don't sit in that energy for too long, or there could be some missed opportunities here. This could also be like, be resourceful. I'm also getting like, be resourceful in the way that's like, don't just have the ambition and then get to work. It's like, be creative with what resources you're using, who you're calling on, the people that you're reaching out to, like what kind of methods and techniques you're using, etc., etc. It's like, be careful to not miss any opportunities, to not procrastinate. Make sure you're not missing any fine details. Make sure you're setting a solid foundation that you're going to build this on. Like, if you're really trying to work towards the 10 of Pentacles, then you need a really solid plan to start with, a really solid foundation to be built on, and you really need that patience. But I think, Virgo, you do have a good foundation because you have really great leadership qualities and you have really great ambition. And I think you do have that patience because you were able to, like, you know, you're able to sit in a place for a long time and really be patient about an investment, really be patient with things. But I think there was a point where you got a little too impatient, or maybe you sat in that stagnant energy for too long because you were too patient. I think this is reminding me, don't be too patient, because it might lead to a little bit of procrastination or some kind of missed opportunity. But definitely make sure that you're working with a strong foundation so that you can really build whatever this is that you're building. You can build it on something strong and stable. All right, Virgo, that's all I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. I really loved doing this for you. Thank you for letting me do this for you. There were a lot of really great messages in here. If any of these stuck out to you, if there were things in here that really resonated with you, please leave comments down below. I would love to hear about it. As always, in my description box, you can find my email. Please feel free to reach out to me if you'd like to schedule a personal reading. You can find my Instagram. Feel free to give me a follow. You can find some links to some Spotify playlists, and you can find my PayPal link. Virgo, keep going. You're ambitious. You got this. Get creative. Find new ways to do things. Don't sit in that stagnant energy. You know, change things up. Come up with new ideas. Harness your leadership abilities. Step into that intuition and get moving again. It's time to get moving again. I really love this reading, and I hope you did too. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hi, Capricorn and cross watchers. So I was filming your video yesterday, but my camera died and the memory ran out in the very beginning. So I did the whole reading, but none of it got recorded. So I'm doing it now. It also got really dark really soon, really early yesterday, because that's how it goes. So I decided to save it for today. So I'm doing your reading now, and I decided to start all the monthlies this month with the Oracle card because I like how it sets the stage for the reading. Oh, okay. So I'll just take that one. The number 13, I am compassionate. I understand how important it is to have compassion, and not just for others, but for myself as well. I forgive myself for the times I may have let myself down. I forgive others for the same. I realize that, like me, everyone is doing the best they know with the tools they have. I am compassionate. Capricorn, I really like that. This isn't the card that came out for you for the reading that I did yesterday, but similar message for the overall reading. So I really like that energy. I am compassionate. Yeah, Capricorn, maybe you were in a place for a little while where you felt bitter about something and you were lacking the understanding that you wanted or needed to have better understanding of a situation. Maybe you were burned by someone or hurt by someone, and for a while you couldn't understand why that happened to you or why they chose to do that action. But now I think you're in a place where you're having more understanding for the situation. You're being more compassionate. You're being more understanding for what the other person is going through. Maybe you were sitting in a space where you were like, you know, being bitter and it was all about you, or you just couldn't understand why someone did what they did. But now maybe you're experiencing a little bit more compassion where you're a lot more understanding of the other person's situation and, you know, being empathetic and sympathetic to why they may be going through something that you're not aware of or something that you don't know about. You know, everybody's fighting their own battle that we don't know about. It's not always personal. Someone may have done something that hurt you, but it wasn't intentional, or it really was about them and it wasn't about you. And I know that sounds weird, but it's like people do a lot of things that have everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. And sometimes we take a lot of things personally. But I think you're in a place now where you're starting to be a lot more understanding of the situation. Even if you don't understand, or even if you don't forgive, you're just coming to a place where you're like, you know what, I want to leave it in the past and I want to be there for you. I want to be compassionate towards you because maybe you really care about this person and you want to let it go. You want to leave the grudge in the past, or you just want to move on. You want to start over with someone. You want to start fresh with someone. Or you just want to let go of the bitterness in your heart. It doesn't even have to be about you coming back to a person or reconnecting or rekindling something with someone. It could just be about you reaching a place of like, oh, I understand why they did that. I have a better understanding of why this went down the way it did and why they treated me like that or why they did that. I just understand it a little better now, and I have compassion for this person because, you know, we're all human. We all do our best, and, you know, I'm not perfect, so why should I be holding others to, you know, high standards, which Capricorns can definitely do. They hold themselves to a really high standard, so in turn they hold others to a really high standard. And sometimes there's that lack of empathy. Not that Capricorns aren't empathetic, it's just that they push themselves, so sometimes they push others to be, you know, the best versions of themselves, but it gets tough, and sometimes we have to be not only compassionate towards others, but sometimes we really have to be compassionate towards ourselves. You may have lacked that compassion towards yourself. You may not have been very forgiving of yourself for certain actions you've done. So this is a reminder to just be forgiving and be compassionate towards those around you and towards yourself. You deserve it too. Everyone's just doing their best, especially in the incredibly difficult circumstances that we're all experiencing right now. All right. Let's get into your reading, Capricorn. I hate when that happens. Okay. That was a weird drop. Alright, any messages for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury, Mars, whatever placements you may have in your chart? That Page of Swords has been coming out for so many people. Any messages for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury, Mars, whatever placements you may have in your chart, whatever energy you've been vibing with. Capricorn for December 2020. Any messages that Capricorn need to know at this time? Any messages that might help them or serve them? Any messages for Capricorn? Any messages for Capricorn? Whoa, okay. I'm struggling. Any messages for Capricorn? Interesting. You have the same overall energy as Taurus, and I'm also seeing some of the same energies as Taurus and Virgo. So check out the other Earth sign readings. Here we have the Devil as the overall energy, which is the Capricorn card. And then we have the Seven of Wands in reverse, the Page of Swords, the Knight of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, the Four of Swords reversed, and the King of Swords. Capricorn. I'm feeling like the Devil. There's something that you're attached to. There's some kind of... no, I'm getting more, you're in your Capricorn energy. You're in your serious energy. I don't know how to describe this. I'm getting this energy of like Capricorns, you're stepping back into this very Capricorn energy where you're like, I'm serious about this. I'm ready to commit to something. I'm ready to go all in with something. I'm ready to be really serious about something. I'm ready to really tie myself to something and really commit to something. Like I'm all in, and I'm not necessarily passionate. Well, I am seeing the Knight of Wands here. That could be like you're very passionate about this, so you're going all in. Yeah. This is interesting. Okay. Let's get into otherwise. The Seven of Wands reverse and the Page of Swords. I think you're finally letting your guard down with something. Maybe you were kind of guarded or felt like you were fighting for something for a long time, but now you're starting to let go. There's something that you're letting go of, and you're kind of letting go of this like need to push so hard and try so hard and fight so hard. You're letting go of this, and you are stepping into an energy of feeling a lot more free and kind of letting the energy guide you where it needs to guide you, letting your interest and your passion kind of guide you. With the Page of Swords and the Knight of Wands, it's like, I feel free, I feel lighthearted, I feel light-footed, like I'm gonna just go where my energy takes me. I think for a long time you were pushing for some certain thing to happen. You were like, you know, trying really hard to make something work, or like have something come together, or hold something together. You were trying to keep from something from falling apart. It's like you were pushing really hard for a while, but now you're letting that guard down. You're letting that struggle fall away because you're realizing that it takes up a lot of your energy, and you're letting yourself be a lot more free. This could have to do with love, where you're feeling a lot more passionate and you're just like stepping back into an energy where you're ready to like meet people or be flirty or move around, travel around, learn new things, try new things. The Knight of Wands is like the same thing. Like I'm really driven by my passion right now. I want to go where my energy is taking me. I want to go where this is leading me. Yeah, you're really letting your passion and your energy kind of drive you to try new things, and you're being really optimistic again. I'm seeing that you're feeling really open-minded again. And with the Seven of Pentacles, it was like, I think this has to do with like, yes, I'm ready to go all in. I'm ready to fully put myself into this and really invest in something worthwhile. So I think your energy is that you're done like fighting so hard to make things happen, but you're gonna let some like more lighthearted, carefree energy guide you and push you along to wherever you're gonna go. You're trusting the process, you're letting things flow a little bit more. And then you're like, okay, well, if I come across something that is worth putting my investment into, then I think I might. I think you're really serious about something, but you're serious about what you want and what you are hoping to find, but you're letting the universe kind of guide you and lead you toward whatever it is you're supposed to find, because you know that what is worth investing in will kind of come to you more unexpectedly and sporadically than if you are trying so hard to make something happen. I think you're letting go of a lot of like control and trying to let something happen in a certain way, and you're letting more energy guide you and things take you where they're supposed to. But you're very open to the idea of, I think this is like, if this is like you dating, you're letting go of trying to make things happen a certain way, but you're open to the idea of meeting someone new or letting, a connection flourish or happen however it's supposed to. But then if that turns into something really fun, it looks like there's something really lighthearted and fun, like the Page of Swords and the Knight of Wands. You may be connecting with someone where it's really lighthearted and fun and passionate and sexy and all that. And there's a really great chemistry there. And you're like, well, if it turns into something committed, then I'm willing to do that. I'm going to go all in. I'm ready to put my pentacle here and, invest in this and really make this grow. But then I think this is warning you of a little bit of burnout. Maybe you've been dating around and you've been seeing that you've been having connections with people, but no, there hasn't been any commitment yet. Like your Capricorns are very like, they are the type of people who really like commitment. They like those more, reliable relationships, those steady relationships, those stable relationships. They're not always the type to be fucking around. That's just from my experience, a lot of the Capricorns I know. But yeah, I'm seeing that you're kind of letting the energy take you, and then if something happens where, it's worth investing in, you're willing to do that. But there's some part of you that's feeling burnt out. Maybe you've been dating and meeting a lot of people and you're just feeling really burnt out and tired of going through this phase of, maybe you've been connecting with a certain person, or there's a pattern where you've been connecting with people and it's been really great and you've had like nice passionate connections, there's chemistry, there's a spark, but you're sitting around like waiting for it to turn into something. You're waiting for it to really develop into something more serious. But you're getting really tired that none of those has really happened for you yet. You're getting tired of that not really happening for you. Like you've been trying, you've been putting yourself out there, you've been going with the flow, but nothing's really come into full form yet. Nothing has really turned into anything worthwhile or stable yet. And I think you are experiencing a little bit of burnout in dating, if this is about dating. Like you're tired of meeting people, and you're tired of maybe having connections with people that don't go anywhere. You're tired of that burnout. You're tired of that like fizzle out of all these connections. And I think you're stepping back into an energy where you're feeling a lot more like you're stepping back into okay, I guess I should close myself off a little bit. Like you just want to be in control. You want to feel powerful. You want to look put together. You could be connecting with an Aquarius here, but I see this as like, yeah, I'm going to step back into my energy of having myself put together, focus on other things, try to gather my energy and, use my mental energy to figure out maybe why this is happening, or to just put my focus back on other things, because I'm feeling really burnt out from dating and whatever this is, or, finding passion in something or finding passion in multiple things that don't turn into something real for me, because I really want that. There could be something here where you were connecting with someone and there was a really passionate and, there was chemistry there, there's a real connection there, but it didn't turn into anything. And so you kind of went away and you were like, you know what, I give up here. And you went into a period where you're like, I need to isolate myself because I'm feeling so frustrated and burnt out from this. And, you know, you stepped into a place where you had to go into that mode of like, I need some time alone to figure out like why this was happening, or why this did happen. And it put you in a place where you're like, maybe you were bitter for a while. Maybe you were like, this is stupid and I don't feel good about this and this isn't fair. And like, you know what, I'm just going to close myself off again. But now maybe you're stepping back into a place where you feel a little bit more compassionate and understanding of why people have done this to you, or why you've had these experiences. You're feeling a lot more compassionate and understanding of like, okay, you know, people have a lot going on in their lives. There's a lot going on in the world. You know, there could be a lot of reasons that these connections don't work out for me. Maybe it's bad timing. Maybe I'm not ready for certain things. Maybe, you know, these people aren't ready for me. It's just a lot of things. Like, I have to be compassionate and understanding that everyone's just doing their best. And, you know, I can't always take things personally all the time. But with this devil energy here, I think this is you, like, you know, maybe your demon is just kind of like feeling really frustrated and, you know, not understanding of what other people are going through and why certain things happen to you, and maybe stepping out of that mentality where you're like, oh, everyone does this because it's about me and I do everything wrong and blah 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 blah. I think you're stepping back into a place where you're like, no, it's not about me. You know, everybody has their things, everybody's dealing with different things. You know, I need to take time alone sometimes. I went away, you know, maybe other people are doing that, and that's why people have turned me down in the past. I have to be a lot more understanding of what other people are going through and why certain things work out the way they do. And, you know, if things don't work out for me, you know, then maybe that wasn't meant to be. That connection wasn't meant to happen. Yeah, all right. I'm going to pull 2 more cards of advice for you, Capricorn. Any other messages of advice here for Capricorn? Whoa. Regarding the spread for December 2020. Any other messages of advice here for Capricorn? Okay. All right. So the 3 of Swords reversed, the 3 of Cups, and the Empress reversed. The 3 of Swords reversed is reminding you, like, let go of the pain, let go of the bitterness, take those swords out of your heart. Like, it's not always good for you to hold on to bitterness or resentment or, you know, negative feelings when it's only going to hurt you. It's only going to keep you closed off. It's only going to keep you deterred from trying again. I think Capricorns get really frustrated where they're like, okay, I'm ready to date, I'm ready to find someone, and then they have a connection and it doesn't work out, and they're like, well, fuck this, I tried, I'm done here. Like, Capricorns get really frustrated because a lot of Capricorns, they know exactly what they want, and they don't want to go through all the trouble of like the work of finding that person and like dating 6 people before they find a good one. Like, it's frustrating, and it can be really frustrating. And I think whatever the situation was, or maybe this was a pattern of multiple situations, it left you feeling really bitter and resentful, and maybe just like a little bit heartbroken, a little bit hurt. But I think it's time to pull those swords out of your heart and let go of some of that pain, because it's not going to serve you. It's not going to help you in any way or progress you forward. And with the 3 of Cups, I think this is reminding you to connect with people in a lot of ways. Connect with your friends, connect with your family members, connect with the people around you. There's a lot of different connections that you can come into, and you may be looking for a very specific thing. You may have your sights set on, your heart set on like what you want. But I think this is reminding you to be open to different kinds of connections that can come into your life. You know, you could be dating around, but you could meet your best friend. You know, things like that happen, and sometimes you have to be open to different kinds of connections, and not be so focused on the ways that things haven't worked out, but be focused on the ways that, you know, you can still connect with people. Focus on the ways that you're more similar to people than you are different. I think Capricorns can be really picky too, and you get frustrated when you actually like someone and it doesn't work out, because you're like, wow, I actually like that person. That's rare for me. But I think this is reminding you that there's a lot of people out there for you. There's a lot of potential for a lot of different kinds of connections, and you just have to keep being positive and to put yourself in a place where you're in a good mood so you can meet more people. If you're just feeling bitter, you're not going to feel good about meeting people. You're not going to be in the mood to meet people. But if you want to meet someone, you got to put yourself out there, and you got to be excited and happy and willing to be open-minded about all the different kinds of connections that you can make, and all the different ways you can connect with people, and all the different ways you can actually relate to people. And you're more similar than different to the people around you, and there's a lot of different ways to connect with the people around you, and, you know, feel good about that. And maybe coming out of this like pain and bitterness, maybe the way that you're going to do that is to connect with friends and be in good spirits and be around good people. With the Empress reversed, I think this is reminding you to not get so beat up and put the energy on yourself of like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not beautiful. You know, it's not personal. It's not always personal. And I think you were sitting in an energy where you felt like, you know, it must be about me. It must be because I'm not worthy enough for what I want. It must be because I'm not beautiful enough for that person. And it's like, it's not personal. You have to be compassionate for what these other people are going through and why they maybe have turned you down. And, you know, even if there's a connection there, sometimes these things don't work out. And sometimes people are on different pages about what they want. Maybe you wanted this and the other person did not. Maybe the other person was feeling burnt out and they needed that time away from you. And it's not personal. It's about everyone's going through their own things and doing their own things. And it's not about you not being worthy or beautiful or, you know, fun to be around. It's a lot of different reasons, and it's good to not take it personally and to instead connect with people in different ways and move on to finding other people that you can connect with, and not stay in a place where you're dwelling on the things that didn't work out and you're dwelling on the people who, you know, didn't stay in your life or didn't want you in the way that you wanted them to want you. I don't know how to say this, but I think there's just a lot of like bitterness here about the ways that things haven't worked out, but it's really good to let go of that bitterness and not take things personal, but to connect with people and be compassionate. Maybe you experienced a fallout with someone in your life and it was painful, but now you want to reconnect with them again. I think it's good to step back into a place where you're open to reconnecting and being compassionate and open to receiving what if they're coming forward to you again. And not let the negative energy get to you. Not let that negative energy get to you. All right, Capricorn, that's all I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. I really enjoyed doing this for you. There were some great messages in here. If any of these resonated with you at all, please leave comments down below. I would love to hear about it. As always, in my description box, you can find my email. Please feel free to reach out to me if you'd like to schedule a personal reading. You can find my Instagram. Feel free to give me a follow. You can find some links to some Spotify playlists, and you can find the link to my PayPal if you would like to donate to this channel. Capricorn, I hope you release the bitterness from your heart. I hope you keep trying. I hope you step into that place of compassion for yourself and for others. It's not always personal. It's not about you not being good enough. It's sometimes just about a lot of different factors. And to remember that there's other people that you're going to connect with. There's other people that love you and care about you and see your value and see your worth. And I hope you realize that just as much as they do. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.